where are we in the series, Chris? I've been quite literally in the dark here.
Well, first thing I'll tell you is I have been watching mostly Novak Djokovic's highlights from his game today, so I haven't been fully locked in on the Peps series. But what it seemed like was Circuit Royale. We got a bit of what we wanted to see, the Lucio Kiri Diva matchup, and Peps took it just about. And then we got Rizapi. We got a Lucio ban, so again they start Juno Kiri, and they give up 115 meters to our friends at Gen.G, and then they start to bring it back once they just accept the Brig Juno mirror, but a too little and a too late situation both at the same time. You can get away with too little, get away with too late, but when it's too little and too late, really good.
All right, fuck. So I call Virgin Media, right? Because this wasn't just down, this was dead, right? Not even enough kilobytes to connect to a Discord call reliably. I call them, like, obviously I have to talk to some kind of robot. Problems with the broadcast, yeah. Problems with the broadcast, yeah. So I was getting ready. I was like, I just need to go through the steps, be patient, get to a person, and then explain, like, the urgency of the situation, right? Don't be rude, not their fault, not the person on the phone's fault. Just explain the urgency and ask what they can possibly do to help. And then I have to go through the AI fucking help. So it was like, have you tried turning it off and on again? And I was like, yeah, in between my mental breakdown, I was turning it off and on again. Yeah, I've done all that, yeah. We'll try and run some remote diagnostics. We can't seem to connect to the hub. Please make sure it's on. It's like, it's on. There's no connection. That's the problem. That's why you can't run the diagnostics. There's no problem. They were like, and then it just fucking pitted out. It was just like, well, yeah, we can't. We tried to run more diagnostics. We'll text you a link to help setting up your router. Goodbye. I was like, you fucking what? You what? This isn't.
Yeah, that's kind of based, actually.
This isn't a service. Thank you, Madnific, for the Prime. Thank you, Red Eyes, for the 5 community gifted. I appreciate it very much. Oh, thank you for another gift as well to KTR to get better internet. Fuck. I wish honestly, I promise you guys, if there was a way to spend money on improving the service, I would. For context, right? For context, if you've already, I'm just trying to cheap out on you. I currently pay £75 a month for this service. So it's not a financial problem. It is a quality of the internet in the UK problem. Because I swapped away from BT. Because do you remember on London, Chris, where I would be working remote, and then sometimes at night I would just disappear for the last 2 hours of scrims because my router would just die and BT couldn't get it back online. So, yeah. So, like, in terms of speed, UK has services that can offer you decent speeds. But in terms of quality of service, that's where we hit problems. And that's the real problem, right? Because if the speed was a bit less, it's still enough to run the stream, etc. The problem is the consistency, right? Say it goes down and we miss a couple of maps. Not too great.
Maps, mate.
Yeah.
I think I'm miles ahead of you, by the way. You might need to speed this shit up.
I'll hit live. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought we're actually 40 seconds in and Zerion is dead. That sounded a bit more closer to real life.
Yeah.
Real speed.
12, 11, 310, 309.
Yeah, it just works. By just works, I mean a series of horrendous problems and then it just works. But it just works. All right.
So, good news is Peps are on the comp I wanted Peps to play. They're on the Peps comp or some variation of the Peps comp. The other good news is it feels like the Ana Kiri is quite a favourable matchup for it. The other good news is Zox is dead. So at this stage, it's very much... Oh, it's bad news.
Yeah, thank you Gando as well for the gift to KSA. Thank you to YouTube chat for returning to me And thank you to Tomothan for looking after the YouTube refugees in the meantime. Appreciate the open borders and support from the nation of Tomothan. Now a bit of space to work with for Peps. Zerion's low on the high ground, but I think he is okay. FD God's in a bit of trouble. The whole backline's in the spot of bother here. The backline's a little bit split from Team Peps right now. They're looking after themselves, and Tread has come to help them out as well. So they've reunited and a chance to top up and take this engage with the Kitsune Rush. Kineo can match this Kitsune Rush. He's low HP. He drops it now. FD God approaching this beat very quickly. They're trying to deal with who are you behind, but all of Zerion's shots are going to go wide. The Kitsune Rush trade fades on point, and Tread has lost his mech. Now the beat comes through. Everyone except for Ken gets that, as Ken is busy killing Zox in the back, but getting that kill he does. They have the beat, but with the baby, they can't really chase anyone on the high ground, so Gen.G will just stand and watch them. Now they can recollapse on this baby, finish off Tread, and send send Peps right back to spawn. Ken looking for another late trade. Actually, FD God is coming for a drive pass as well. They force the Meg, but Bowler on the baby. Cookie and FD God find important trades, scrapping their way out here. Now swinging back in, who are you has the Blizzard, but he's forced an Ice Block early, and Tread has this mech now, so he will be marking that Blizzard. No chance for Hui to get this one off, surely. Full Matrix, but he's getting pocketed through everything, but it's not enough. No chance to get that one out, no chance to turn the fight. And Peps catch a bit of a break there. My quality has gone down.
To see how long
to go up.
Oh, you're scared.
Sorry, no, we're good.
You shouldn't push the limits, mate. You should just let it go.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Interesting to see how long Gen.G stick on all this. Got all the fields, but it feels inevitable, I guess, that actually does Zox ever play Lucio? No, right? Like, they're kind of might stay this backline. And a Brig, maybe. Canale go Brig after Kyriel.
Brig band, mate. Peps have targeted them.
Probably won't be Brig then when I start to think about it logically. It seems unlikely that they're going to get
What do you know, mate? Blade onto the D.Va, out of mech, and a clean one from Ken with that one. A nice, efficient fight for Team Peps. A chance to make up some of the time they lost. It was, I know, chat, it was outrageous to think I can watch in 1080p. People asking about the speeds. It's a gigabyte download, if you can believe it. I know there's not a lot of great evidence for that recently, but trust me, it's a gig. That's what they tell me. But what do I know? Nano for this retake for Gen.G. Chance to throw that one into Mag to create a bit of space. They have the Blizzard as well, but there's lots of things that can negate the Blizzard here. Tread can eat it, Zerion can Suzu it. Ways to get out of this one, and Zox is going to be posted up at the back here. Full pocket. Kitsune rush to start the fight. Nano out onto Zodial, but as he dashes backwards here, so he's going to have to force it forward a little bit. He's got a lot of damage onto Tread. They just disengaged this Nano actually completely, so a 1-for-1 ult trade. Nothing gained, nothing lost really. Full reset and a chance to go with this beat push now. Who are you and this Kitsune rush? But actually it's Kinale who starts it, so Peps might just fancy a disengage here. They are amped backwards and everyone is out. Well played by Peps. Now big ult advantage in the form of this beat. Gonna set back up. Look to go again. Who are you has the Blizzard, which might just have to be a defensive tool. But we talked about how tricky it can be to get it off. They catch Peps rotating to this left-hand side from their POV. Pressure onto Who Are You already. Tread wants the E, but B over the top. Yeah. Ice Block has been forced. More pressure. Full Matrix. Can't use it. Won't use it. Goes down. Well-handled beat push. Team Peps, they close the distance. They put that pressure onto Who Are You.
Yeah. Just needs to swap it, I think. I think like it's so low dopamine to swap it, but you saw what's going to happen. You're not going to get it off. Even if you get it off, who are you going to freeze, you know? Like, at best, a D.Va who's just going to remake bomb. I feel like, at this stage, I mean, we have gone into the Lucio and Kiri, but it feels like the Mei is just... I don't know, there's a Gen.G mirror being offered. Ken is saying to Who Are You, take it. And Who Are You, next to Mag's D.Va is staying Mei. So, yeah. You know what the Spin Doctor would be saying in this moment in time.
Sometimes for prescriptions, they write themselves here. Kitsune rush to start from Zerion. It's pretty early, but they do get the D-Meg onto Mag.
And no
Ken
kills.
dies in.
Cheers.
Blizzard there. Yeah, it's actually Who Are You who dies in it, of course. Yeah. Suzu to get Ken out of this trouble as well. They save everyone. They have a player advantage. They're flooding forward. They want late kills. Tread is all over this backline. Defensive Suzu used. Worth noting, Gen.G's backline has gone to Lucio Kiri. So Peps have actually forced the backline mirror that they want all of a sudden. 2 minutes left on the clock, and it is foot on the throat. Blade and Bowler at the door here. Kanail's Kitsune Rush has to do everything for him. He's going to use it from spawn right now, but here comes the Blade over the top. They try and give him the slip. He dashes back. He forces the recall out of the tracer. Not huge value at all from Ken with this Blade. There's a beat now from FD God. Not in time to save the mech, but can help the bomb go back off. And they just cap all of that goes through. Gen.G couldn't move from spawn. And all of a sudden, Akiri Lucio Mirror and Peps, they find their footing.
Honestly though, if we're being real between us, we must be kicking ourselves that Lucio Kiri was open on Ilios and we decided against it. Infinitely easier to play. This is the Peps comp from EWC last year. Everybody in EU was calling it the Peps comp when they had a little run. When they were gaming Gladiators, they had 1 week of good scrims playing the Peps comp before everyone else copied the Peps comp and overtook them immediately. But there was a Peps comp era. This is always how the Renegade plays. D.Va, Giga Brawl, 5 people push. Very simple, basic, good old-fashioned EU Overwatch. Listen, FD God, Zerion, this is not a Juno Kiri backline. This is Europe, my friends. You will be on Lucio Kiri and you will be playing as 5 and you will be pushing.
And the proof is in the pudding. You saw the number of disengages they got their team Peps. All of a sudden, the push, the pull, they're good at this version of Overwatch, and this worked out for the attacker.
You can see which team speaks English and which team has got people that don't speak English. Whenever we get to these disengages, it was the same on Circuit Royale too, right? Like the second they just give themselves the option to in and out, they're winning ult trades. They play simple Overwatch, they can do it. That's how you beat a team that doesn't speak the same language at all, in my opinion. But what do I know?
What do you know, mate? It's going to be... Oh! The little tease from Who Are You? For Gen.G, it was there. It was open. I promise you he's good at this hero. He just doesn't believe in himself enough, I guess. Course Comet with the 10 months. Chris hates people with different languages. Well, not all the different languages. There's a couple he's a really big fan of. It's going to be...
Chinese is a good language, man.
It's going to be Kiri Lucio again, Juno Kiri. So now both teams trying to play towards their strengths in the version of backline. Another D.Va mirror, though. Angle early for Zodiel as they try and get this one in. Ken dashes in. FD God is in there as well, but Zodiel just uncontested here. We'll just keep shooting at him. And you fire enough bolts at a problem, it normally solves it. That's 2 picks already for Gen.G. They have cracked this first point wide open. Please, someone take Chris's job. But you've censored the word job. I think that word's okay to say still.
You will be able to say job, yeah. This is not Reddit. We're okay with jobs on this website, okay?
Do you remember when he said it always goes a certain direction when you're here? No swaps coming out for either team as they roll the cart through this initial choke. And now Team Peps in this street phase a little bit easier. And this is a narrow corridor. Push and pull will pay dividends here. First DVDs of the day. But what also pays dividends is hitting your shots. Zodiel with the opening pick onto Ken, and Peps just can't get a foothold at all. The trade from FD God, it doesn't really change all that much. It's going to be a retake for Team Peps, a full regroup, and they find themselves a little bit worse off than a couple of these ults, but only a few percent, all things considered. What has to be said, though, is Kitsune Rush Ray versus Kitsune Rush B. The Ray and the Kitsune Rush should be better there, especially the Ray, especially these fights on point. The way Peps can negate this is utilizing that speed and mobility. Disengages like we saw on their offense. Need more of those in here. They're going to start with Ken and FD God on the right-hand side. Kanail and Who Are You are going to match that, forcing a little bit of a stalemate here. Aggressive blink and pulse bomb attempt from Who Are You connects onto nothing. And now Who Are You has to be more defensive, but Bowler in main from Cookie allows them to win that part of it, and they're going to try and force Who Are You out as well. They have done. They're actually chasing that kill. Tread will get that one, and now a chance to move back forward. Get to this choke again now. Late kill onto Kanail, forcing a full reset, and Team Peps get all of that without getting into this big support ult trade. Sox didn't quite have Ray yet, everything like that. So now it's 2 support ults versus 2 support ults, and importantly for Peps, the nice thing to have when you want to play a push-pull, you want to disengage some of their key ultimates, is you need space to disengage into. And they get a fight ahead of checkpoint now, so they have that space to work with. Gen.G are going to attempt this retake instead with a Kiri Lucio flank. But a fight in main, Tread eats for Bowler, Ray comes through, beat bet from FD. They've invested both there, just taking this fight head on. Here's the later Kitsune Rush coming through from Kanail, though. Tread's trying to double down onto the backline. He does have the bomb available. Going to force a bit of a D peek here. Zerion falls in the background. This happens, though. They need kills and they need them fast, Team Peps. Peps. They need to turn it into a scrap. They need to be careful not to let this payload move. Tread is looking for kills while Ken anchors point. The pulse bomb is wide from Ken. He has no recall now. He's in big trouble. Mag will finish that one off. Cookie's traded one, but it's only a tracer. There's nowhere to go for FD God. Mag is blocking that door, and it's going to be a full reset. Tread is going to try and stall out point now, but he has to buy so much time and not die, and he doesn't have self-destruct. He's just dying on point for time. He's not really got a lot of options. Going to tap it in at the end of this, and Gen.G going to have a mighty time.
Mirrored. And we felt that we need mirror. So the same thing that happened on the opposite third point, the defensive team feels like they have comp disadvantage. Really, really would have liked to see a beat push just to force one of the better ults from Gen.G and then take the fight head on when it's just one support ult. That feels like it would be a really nice trade to me. Like you said before the fight, never going to win the double support ults unless you get a one shot, which they didn't, and then they lost. So a rare blip in the Peps macro here.
Yeah, big opening now for Gen.G. Chance to finish with a larger time bank. Going to be stabilizing at this choke. Just Cookie trying to take this duel with Zodial. Nothing major landing. They've got an opportunity. Tread flies onto the Freya, but no meaningful damage. Again, Gen.G quite happy to play slow and through this side fight. Just bully for space. Now a more aggressive angle. Tread is going to eat another bowler. Hungry today, are we, Tread? Another one, and Zodial gets killed for that as well. Punished for it. Really hard to get these bowlers off in the D.Va mirror if you're just going to try and sort of use them as the first ult in the fight like that. You need more to happen. You need more cooldowns to be traded. You need a D.Va to be pulled in a few different directions, burn a bit of that matrix. All a bit too easy for Tread these ones, but he's not going to be complaining. They get the reset, an important fight. Long way to go still for Team Peps, but that's the kind of start they need. Just need to be cautious because this Kitsune Rush from Kaneo is going to be up fast. Now, Juno and Kiri, this is still a mobile comp with the D.Va. They can still disengage stuff here. Kaneo's going to have to make sure he walks up quickly. Peps, no disengages on second. Need to pull some of them out back now. But if they can buy enough time, they do at least have the ults to match this time. Even support ults, obviously, in the mirror. Swinging
tricky beam for FD guards, because if you have to push through, flip the other side, you're actually going to find yourself in a worse position. So I'd still like to see some sort of layering here. Yeah, disengage the first ult, so buzzing about that, as the kids would say.
Later Kitsune rush back. Now the Ray comes back. Later Ray for FD God, though. They've managed it. They've lost two people. Might be a better late than never situation, but FD God, he doesn't want to lose. Zerion's going to find a trade, and maybe FD God, wiser than us, they're just going to trade it out. Maybe even just win the fight cleanly. Tread is going to bomb, but self-destruct a bit more of a throwaway ult there. And they managed to negotiate themselves a big ult advantage. And you see the power of just reading that Kitsune Rush, taking a disengage. Especially D.Va comps, because he can eat so much of that initial burst of damage. You can disengage a lot of ults with this comp.
100%, like this is 100% where Peps are winning this. Oh, cheers. And that's where they're losing it, okay? That's where they're losing it.
Ken is committed in. He's got no recall, so he has to concede for space. Who are you wants to force the issue now, but going to blink back to the health pack and to his Kiriko. No health pack available for Zerion. Cookie was smothered and had his bowler eaten as well. They do have this Ray advantage still, Team Peps, but they're going to have to use it while on the back foot. Maybe just to get out of spawner. It's Gen.G has the opportunity to walk away from it now. They're walking up. The Ray has been pressed. Zodial smashed in that one, but it's a 1-for-1 trade only. The rest of Gen.G seem to be quite far out. But where are Mag and who are you? Who are you is trying to run. They're trying to chase him. Not really enough kills out of this from Peps. They do enough to stabilize, but it's an expensive way to stabilize, and now they've got to be wary of the next double support ult timing. But we're still a way away from that yet. We'll get a big neutral, lots of side fights, opportunities for the Freyas in all of this. Just going to be jockeying for space on this right-hand side. Zodial gets the better of Cookie, though, and now winning that Freya duel gives him the option to play this, but Tread wants to smother him, force him all the whack for Peel. Back for Peel is good. Ken with the pulse bomb trade. Bit of a tracer gap there. And now, again, trades will save it for the defense. Suddenly, this big time back for Gen.G. We're on 45 seconds.
Overtime insane if Peps can get it, so can play as slow as humanly possible. Even if they lose, so this is pretty good for you. And that works.
One shot with the Kitsune Rush, catch him napping, and now it's going to be a quick reset. I think that's both back. Oh, two players dead. Pressure onto Mag as well. Late kills here is something that Gen.G can't really afford, but Kaneo will be one of them. 20 seconds left. Mag can't really afford to lose the mech here. Or die. He's got the remech at least. They do hold on, and they have double support ult coming back. Team Peps, I think fight forward. Make it chaotic. Play for trades in this one. Don't let Gen.G use their support ults on point.
Yeah, ring.
Look, flank position from Zerion as well. Going for it. Zerion dies. Mag smothers that one, just trying to protect his backline where Huiyu gets the touch. Ken is keeping it contested while this goes on. It's all about the trades for Peps, though. Nothing coming forward. Double support all invested on point. Now the trades are really difficult for them. Ken is anchoring point for so bloody long, actually. He is stalled for so long. He falls now. They need someone else to take over. Tread is demeched behind. We are into overtime at least. That's the minimal. Cookies found a trade. The cap does go through. A bit of a shame, actually. A couple of the kills just go their way at the end. But into overtime means no chance at another attack. Gen.G are playing for a draw now.
Yeah, and to be honest, if there was a single map that I could get 1 minute and a half to crack, it would be King's Row. There is no harder map to defend in the game. So easy to counter comp because you have just insane spawn advantage in general. I think every single team talks about this idea if I don't know what to defend with on King's Row first point because there's so many heroes that can counter me. Yeah, trade once and you're in trouble. So I think Team Peps can feel really confident at this moment in time. The only danger is you can really overcook it. If you get a little bit too, we can counter the comp, but you start to play stuff you're not good at. I expect that we'll probably see some sort of mirror, and we'll just play for 2 honest fights. Get 1 pick, should be enough.
Yeah. Arthur, yeah, refund is correct. If it is a draw, all the money predicted will just be refunded, and you'll get a chance to spend it again, as the series will keep going. Okay, Tread lining up Winston initially here. Should be a good matchup, right? Into an Anakiri, into a Diva, chance to get kills. Zerion and FD God, Ken, they can all really just follow Tread in on the dive, set up this one, but they've still got plenty of time to make their decision. 1 minute 37 seconds. All they need is a tick. They can't lose now, Peps. Draw at worst, but this is a huge opportunity. This map, just a tick, should be straightforward for Team Peps. It's going to be Tracer Gen.G here, so it really is an all-in dive comp. They are just going fast. They forced an early TP out as well. Zodial uncontested on the high ground, and Zox is just hiding. It will hit a big nade, drops out main as well, and Team Peps haven't found anybody to trade yet. They've got 4 players behind, and their main source of healing gone, stuck in the respawn queue. Now Peps, this feels overcooked. FD God is going to die. Now they're going to push. There's no healing for these players behind right now. Mag wants the kills right now.
But Tread is going to get staggered into oblivion if they catch him.
Is Tread just out? Is he playing his life?
He has to. I actually think he has to play his life, but then now it gets so awkward.
It's him and Cookie behind.
Perfectly and engage before you can use the fly on the Ana. Don't give them that second cooldown on Diva shift.
Who are you behind now?
Now they have a cut at least on the high ground. It looks so ugly for both teams at this stage. This is an absolute fucking dogfight. And Mag is
tick! Look at the cap! Look at the cap! They don't need a lot. They're trying to clear point. Treader's on it now. Mag has lost his mech. The dash through from Ken. They're all so low, and they might have just pulled it out. The sleep from Zox. I don't know if it's enough. The point pressure just pulls them all out of it. And who are you?
That was the London Classic. Something stays behind you that you don't clean up, and it causes your brain to malfunction. The Tracer Diva Pincer forced everyone to drop from the high ground. So everyone on Peps' backline, or on Gen.G's backline, is on second point, leaving little Maggie to touch against 4 people. He's basically dead, and then it's done. It's tough, because what you actually have to do is you have to look to move forward from the space. You don't need to give the high ground, but you need to attempt to apply more pressure on the people respawning. It's never easy, but
I mean, you know what it is as well? What's the solution in these situations when there's a player like an awkward amount of distance behind? You need clear communication about how many people are going, how far back they are, how long they're chasing. And again, something that's a little bit easier if everyone fluent in the same language.
100%. I think that it's fair to say that this has been a dogfight, but you would say that across the series, how many times have Gen.G got out and cheated an ult? Just been really ready to make a plan and to disengage it. Almost 0. Peps a few times. Same thing here. That first plan go Gen.G Tracer, it's probably not the right idea, you know? Like, you can probably still play Freya and do something similar. But when things get messy and it's no longer about offset plays and how do we react to an uncomfortable situation, that's when if 2 of my guys are screaming in Korean and the rest of them are trying to figure out what's going on, it gets more challenging.
Yeah, and they just pounced on it, really. It's an overcommittal of resources, because, I mean, Mag had to stay, right? Saw how close that cap was. Mag actually didn't have, barely had a percent to give there before committing to point and staying for the touch. And then all of a sudden, pulled in different directions, falls apart. We should look at some fantasy points as well. Hold on.
I was going to say if we can have a look at the bans too, because we need to figure out where we're going. I think we have Flashpoint left, so there isn't much in it in terms of what we can pick. I know for a fact that Gen.G have already banned Lucio and banned Diva. Maybe Kiriko, force them again onto the Juno Brig, which is where Gen.G want to be, seems reasonable. And there probably isn't too much left for Peps to ban, I think.
And will be corrected in due course. Or not. Whatever, keep up the good work, King.
Appreciate you, Quark. Thanks for thanks for the resub. I'll get that looked into for you straight away. But yeah, I mean, it's often the nature once we get to this point in the series, right? Map 5 is most teams have used all their good bans by now because both teams have had at least one pick, if not two. And importantly for Gen.G, they get to pick as well, right? But I mean, options are limited because Flashpoint, Suravasa, or New Junk City can't really force.
I think
it's just gonna be stuck in a Diva wrist or an Orisha wrist mirror.
Yeah, I think Kiri ban seems to be, to me, by far the best option here for Gen.G. Just at least force both backlines onto what you want, and then if it ends up being Mauga, Orisa, Ram, Diva, the chips will fall where they may.
Yeah. Is there a counter ban or anything from Peps that can kind of disrupt it a little bit, or what's the...
I don't know, I can't see the bans because your fucking face is in the way on the stream, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, sorry, I see what you mean, yeah. So, there we go. Oh,
big old head.
So, yeah, Peps have used Ana, May, Sombra, and Brig.
Yeah, okay, so it probably... I think it has to be, for them, it's either Hazard or Orisa. It's just whatever you feel the Diva can beat the most. Maybe you just ban Orisa and then you say, well, Diva can beat Hazard if we play it properly.
They've gone Tracer, actually, here in terms of the ban. Are they going to... Because we talk about not wanting to play Juno Brig. Do they want to play Juno Lucio? And therefore they're trying to take away the Tracer as a bit of a threat to that? I mean, obviously, who are you can just play Sombra as well, right?
Yeah, to be honest, if that's what they're going for, then I respect the ban here. I think Gen.G obviously doing what we said they would do. Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, Juno Brig isn't going to be the end of the world for Peps. I think still a lot of the same things are going to apply, but I don't hate the idea of Hazard or Diva, Juno, Lucio, Gen.G. Obviously, there's probably this element of why do we force who are you on to Gen.G if it's this situation, but I don't know, some of it just feel like you're kind of shoehorning in the wrong direction here.
Yes, Spider just said banned who used one trick.
Yeah, I should have banned Diva, you know. I got something else.
It's all he can bloody play. Yeah, also, points are in the background there on the screen, but current status is Tread is at an impressive plus 21.5 overall. All of Peps in the positive. Who are you in this currently tied 2-2 series is on minus 10. So...
Ooh, that can't be right, is it?
I mean, he's got he's got on the maps they've lost, he's got big negatives, and on the maps he's won, he's gained a total of like 1 or 1.5 points.
Oof.
Yeah, Kineo a slight negative as well. FD God just about positive. It's actually pretty good recovery from FD God because he had some pretty low scores in that opening map. But yeah, Mag on 11.5, but Tread comes away as the big winner here. Both hit scans doing well as well, as we maybe see a bit of a shift to the power of Freya. Just increasing as people get better and better at that hero.
I've felt it in scrims too massively. I think you start to see the players that were originally the best Freya starting to, like, everybody's starting to catch up a lot. I feel like the internal Freya power rankings have changed a lot.
To answer you, Quadzy, as well, yeah, all on the live patch as well. So, all as it is in your games as well.
Okay, so... Orisa, Juno Brig, probably what you would expect from Gen.G.
Yeah.
Tread's hero will be interesting. I think Hazard is probably the most common played with Lucio Juno.
Then Orisa.
Go Orisa. Will FD God stick? Okay, so we do stick. And we get the Sombra like we expected. I think this is actually really favourable on this first point for Peps, but once the map opens up, Gen.G's comp I think is better.
Yeah, I think the Orisa doesn't feel as bad because it is, of course, New Junk City, so it's one of the more difficult maps even for a hazard. But Ken's just going to walk out and one-shot Zodial, so that can solve a lot of problems, and Mag is just going to get run over as a result. A couple of trades in the back, it's only one actually, so it's really not too bad at all. And a very first and decisive fight for Team Peps. Obviously, the nature of double speed, your options are go, and go even faster. So they choose to go, they get that immediate explosion there. Obviously the Freya, for the Zodial especially, has to be very careful because the distances Tread and Ken can cross is basically anything with this amount, you know? So while Who Are You can punish this Lucio Juno backline, the ability for Team Peps to play around this Sombra timing are really important. Because if Who Are You isn't in position for that trade, or he just has to re-cloak up, or he has to go get health back, there's his timing. You see, look, Who Are You's forced to cloak, and they all go forward. They don't find anything this time, but they can get back in and reset at the choke. So Team Peps, they go and have a look on their timing, but they don't just all in. Heads up play from Team Peps. Now they can wait for this next Sombra timing as Gen.G try and slowly and more methodically try and clear a bit more of this space. Tread is coming in now. Spear is going to get eaten. They've dealt with Ken on the flank though, but they're just walking forward. Mag is trying to trade this backline, but Tread won't leave him alone. Both Orisa's going to find big value here. It's going to descend into a dogfight, but it's 77% already. They need to win this fight here, Gen.G. They have to scrap it out. FD God is coming to help the Orisa. Tread is low. FD God puts his body in the line, stuck between the roof and Mag's head. It can happen, and as a result, Zodial's going to get that space and time to clean up. Ken's going to come die on point to ensure we're definitely in overtime and ruin a few people's fantasy scores. But plenty of time for Team Peps now for the retake. Coming up to the ult. Worth noting, Kaneo is not coming up to this ult at all, so if you're waiting for that one, come back in a few minutes. For now, though, everyone else is going to have their ults to throw into this next fight very shortly, so it's going to be a big throwdown. Maybe the Ray advantage for Zox is going to be notable as well. Team Peps, though, they might just choose aggression, try and one-shot. There's no ults just yet for Gen.G. There's a small window if they go. Hack onto Tread, trying to fight their way out. There's the beat push coming through. Who Are You is shut down. No chance to EMP. Zodial was dead as well. Bowler to finish it. A Ray to try and clutch from Zox. They're trying to make it work. They killed Ken, but Cookie's got this free angle. Gen.G have stabilized a little bit. Now they can Terror Surge on point, but Kaneo drops down to point first. He's vulnerable. Finished off by the supports. Zox is trying to punish his pocket, his Terror Surge. Mag has found one kill. The Orisa's powerful in these situations. Can Mag do it all? He's looking for the Lucio, but FD God is running away. There's a Blade behind him. Who Are You back with the EMP? Turns a kill. Blade over the top now with Zerion's Ray, but doesn't find all that much. Still on the back foot. Mag trying to stabilize underneath. Separated though. They're going to have no HP, Gen.G. They have to keep fighting this. They need a touch. They give a touch. Tread is coming back on Doom as they will respawns flood back. Kaneo has this rally. Come back right now. The rally's in play and it might be the decisive factor. Zodial's dead though. The Doom's gone over the top. Peps can afford to give the flip if they want. They're going to slow it down. Try and wait out the rally a little bit. Kaneo has to DP here. They still don't have a flip here, Gen.G, so they have to keep it contested. And that means Tread and Ken, they can just dive for backline for free. Tread will clean this one up. And they have to scrap it out in the end, but Peps claim the first point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it does get harder for them now. I think that what you said about the Sombra timings is especially true. The second they smell that Who Are You is behind them, they need to try to push forwards. But there is way more backward space for Gen.G to be able to work with. That works in both their favor because it gives more backward space for Who Are You to get behind and more backward space for them to run back into. So I do not think that this is over necessarily at all. But let's see. What do I know?
Be available for FD God if they want to keep the tempo up, and I think they want to keep the tempo up. The TP has been forced out for Who Are You, and there's a timing for it if they want. The bowler at first, so when Tread has taken 1 billion damage, here comes the beat so they can keep going forward. Gen.G were trying to give space, but not enough space to give. Zox forced into a corner, they get a single kill out of that beat push. They still need to deal with everything else, but main source of healing, Ken will trade in the sky for the Freya, but now Cookie can just be uncontested. He will clean everyone up on this point, and Peps will look good for it. Kaneo with a last touch has to die on point. Another good fight for Team Peps, and these beat pushes in particular are being very effective for them. Terror Surge, Ray, or nearly a Ray. Rays are about 10% advantage for Zox, so they do have a Terror Surge all ready to go here, Gen.G. Have an option to slow it down for that Ray if they want, but we'll obviously be approaching one fight territory. But Ken wants to give them no time at all. Peps have one thing on their mind. They are playing a speed comp. They're playing a double speed comp. They force the Terror Surge out, but Ken and FD God, they commit into that. Maybe a little bit,
maybe
a little bit too far for their own good. They will all get cleaned up there, and they tried to hit Gen.G early, but Gen.G was still in formation essentially in terms of Mag was at the front. So when that hit comes in, that Terror Surge pulls not just does damage and pulls people, but the people it pulls away, it pulls them away from the Gen.G backline, which is who Team Peps are trying to kill. So Gen.G get a very efficient retake.
On top of that too, here you flip the point. This is always a danger, is if you run away from point, you give the enemy free flip each time as the blade gets hacked.
Oh yeah, Ken is just having to try and live with this blade right now. FD God won't be so fortunate, so it's a slightly slower than usual disengage for Team Peps. Play for Raid isn't the worst thing, big picture. Now they have the Ray advantage and the Terror Surge for the next push, but the rally push from Kaneo, they keep it tempo up. Zerion and Tread want to turn it with the combo. 2 kills out of that. They walk forward for Javelin of a shutdown. Who are you? No chance to use this EMP. Second time now he's died with EMP as we go into a scrappy fight, and now it should just be clean up here. They've got a few different threats to manage, but Mag's not on point anyway, so they'll stall him out a bit. Peps do get the retake here, and they are getting very close in that beat push again. So they can go early again if they want here, once FD God gets that beat. There's a really important timing here in terms of, can they find Who Are You? Can they find a way to get this beat off or push around it?
Really dangerous though, if he catches them, or even if he flips the point in this moment, they have to get back in touch. Like, the timing to do this off-point push is super delicate.
I don't know he's there.
It's not easy for Peps to figure this out at all, because you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't.
They're choosing to go. FD goes for the beat goes off. Catches everyone except for Cookie, but Cookie is safe enough at the back. But a defensive bowler from Zodial forces a trade. 1 for 1 only, but Zodial tries to take some space onto point right now. Team Peps are a little bit scattered and awfully low, and Zodial is just walking through the middle, taking care of everyone. Bolts will connect, and Zodial will clean up as a result
insane,
of this.
by the way.
What if I just walk up main with my crossbow? Could I kill an entire team? You might be able
the
to.
Freya's cooldowns. God forbid there's any mobility on her, you know?
Tying it up 1-1. And even though FD God got the beat he wanted, it felt like Gen.G were quite well spaced in terms of that there. Defensive bowler as well slows down that onslaught. Nicely played by Zodial. And now they got a Terror Surge bowler for this next fight here. Team Peps don't have anything. They might just go quickly. Zodial throws out the bowler as they try and back up and survive. Kaneo lives, but is very split from his team right now. But Who Are You gets that kill in the backline. This time he finds the timing. Terror Surge from Mag to finish the job. Will finish the job. Potentially a bit heavy-handed as he already had the HP advantage, but will get their first cap and will put themselves in a decent position for this. They'll have Ray for next fight. Team Peps, again, need a bit more time to rebuild these ults.
Yeah, problem is we start to get in now, we start to really have to deal with a consistent Sombra ult timing, which, as you see in Korea, is actually just an unbelievable win condition as it's always been. So I really feel like I'm starting to heavily lean towards Gen.G here. The ult timings look so much better with the rally and the EMP to shut down the blade, or to shut down, well, literally everything in the fucking game.
Speed in from Zerion as they take the win. No ults just yet for Team Peps. They'll get the Terror Surge as they go. They need to be careful pushing into this Ray. Might have to be a trademark disengage from the Peps guys. They got the speed to do it. They're trying to take a bit of a wide angle to poke out Mag right now. Torpedo swing through. More pressure onto Mag. Zox will drop that Ray. Treader's committed though. He is going through this one. Kaneo in a corner. Terror Surge pulls him in. Bash away from Kaneo. He avoids that. Zox not so fortunate though. And this Ray push hasn't gone the way Gen.G wanted at all. They've got the bowler if they want to keep investing. Kaneo is 1 HP and 3% short of the rally. He'll fall. More trades come through on point. But again, we see this position all about the Freyas right now. Their ability to take over. Cookie takes down one. Forces for Sombra out as well. Zodiac is still, I think that's behind actually. But very much isolated. Taking the duel. Tread will finish the job. Peps get themselves back on point, and now they have a beat blade push. Gen.G for rally won't be enough to survive, I don't think. It's going to come down to this ability to play around the EMP.
Yeah, same thing. We need the beat time, and this EMP is so powerful. If you cheat one or outplay one EMP, then the map's theirs for the taking, but it's a big if. If you die before using the beat, then the point is over, and we're already in serious trouble.
Who are you on the left-hand side of the map right now, just off our screen? Don't think Peps have an idea where he is right now. They're going to go for the beat push, so they get the beat push off. 5-person beat, counter EMP, eats up some of that health, but really not that much. Not a great way to use it, but now Kaneo has the rally. Is it enough to survive? Yes, and Who Are You does actually get the late kill onto Syrian there. Bash onto Tread to keep him at arm's length, and Who Are You has just busted open this backline here. 2 kills for him off point, and Gen.G will be taking the lead on this flashpoint.
Yeah, position's so compromised when you go early. The EMP itself, to be honest, it doesn't even have to be that high value these days, you know? Just the 5-man EMP even into the beat is enough to slow you down. Next thing you know, your Lucio and your Juno are intling across the map, and it gets really, really easy to stabilize with the rally. I think I don't know if that's the second or the third EMP, but they're all winning. Even if they're not the quick one and dones. If anything, he's getting more value because he's taken 2 ults out from Peps at the same time. And now he's 25% on another one, and then we're going to have to solve the same problem again.
Laid out the door from Ken onto the brig. Bash away. The chase is on. It's a few more slashes than he would like, but gets it done. But they've lost people on the way in again. And this has really been a sort of turning factor here for Gen.G. These aggressive swings come in for Team Peps, and Gen.G, they can't always keep their backline alive. This Tread is still battling away here, but he's up against a pocketed Freya. Good luck. But they still doing these aggressive hits, Team Peps, and while Gen.G, they can't prevent Kaneo dying sometimes. They can't protect their supports getting traded in these situations. But Mag, Who Are You, Zodial, they seem to be finding these slightly different positions where they're not the primary target and they're trading the kills out. So Peps are getting their man, but it's always costing them too much to actually win the fight in the long term.
Yeah, Riss are so good at when it comes to just absorbing a full team push. Never gonna die, able to boop you back, trade you with a fucking spear or whatever.
Red has the Terror Surge here to use. No Ray to combo with it just yet. Gen.G also need a little bit more to their ult, so both teams seem to be quite content to play it a little bit slow. Remember, Peps can't afford to lose it. Just 50 or 45% away from Gen.G from winning this map. But Who Are You is booped! FD God has sent him off the map. No escape. Ken comes in. And I believe Chrissy turn away because this is a free retake.
Yeah, I mean, someone in the Q&A said, why don't you just coach your team to never give free retakes? Krusty should be listening to that client in our Patreon Q&A. Listen, it's a really, really nice fight. No ults used, going to give us timing, but we have to solve the same problem. It's an EMP on every single round.
Replay.
And we seem to be playing against it. Oh, he's fucking raging about that, I tell you that.
Stand still and he can't see you, but FD God is French, he's not a dinosaur. Now it's going to be a big ult throwdown on the point. Ray Terror Surge versus Ray Terror Surge. EMP in the mix for Who Are You as well if he can find this last 6%, which should be pretty feasible as he goes to the right-hand side here. Team Peps are trying to pivot around, keep the space from this Sombra, but Who Are You is encroaching. 1% to go. Finds a low HP. Zodial's bolt will finish the job. Now an EMP into the sky. The beat from FD God for Ray comes through. The EMP into the Ray. Can they survive? No is the answer. Bowler connects onto everyone. They'll flip it right back. And Team Peps, their comp is fast. They have a Bowler Terror Surge combo, but my god, where on earth are they getting the touch from? They've not spawned. It's all on Ken. No. I hear Ken deflecting. No. He's running for it. He can't do it. Gen.G close it out 3-1 on New Junk City.
Ken dead before the fight, but I think in reality you really can't win it. It's almost impossible to win that ult trade. Beam is going to be so good for both teams, but the EMP, it was just as it was in the T1 versus fucking Zeta map 1, you know, it just is it's a consistent fight winning ult, and if you keep winning fights through the ults, you only need to win 1 or 2 extra to win the map.
It's like you said, you can outplay these EMPs, you can find timings, and I'm sure you can look back through some of those EMP timings and find that value. You remember when Peps were having more success earlier on in the map? Actually, twice now they managed to not just find Who Are You, but actually kill him while he had EMP. So a couple of those fight wins, they are just cheating the ult economy because the EMP doesn't come into play until the next fight. But while they're worrying about all these things, and it's forcing a certain playstyle out of Peps in a lot of situations, Gen.G aren't worrying about any of this. They can still play their own game. They can make sure their spacing is good for all of these hits and these aggressive pushes, and it just becomes a little bit of a simpler game for Gen.G long term. And I mean, I can't actually understate what an important win this is for Gen.G and the whole Krusty and the whole team, really, because a loss here, I mean, if it wasn't already a crisis, it would have been a crisis after this. It might still be a crisis, but there's a severity level above this that we've managed to avoid.
Yeah, 2 wins often enough, it seems like, to avoid relegation, so they'll be happy that they've already reached that point, like you said, in Crisis. Probably not going to take too much confidence knowing that they've got a lot of the bigger teams still to play, but the ramifications of losing this one are an almost irreparable mental boom, and you do have to worry if Peps felt similar. They felt like this was one of the games they had to win. This is a really, really important game to win. I don't know if Peps have played quick yet, but that will actually become pretty important.
The relegation decide. Yeah,
because obviously the ultimates aren't in there, you know. Don't worry about the ultimate. They're going to be no relegation there.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry about the ultimates.
Yeah, next game we're moving over to North America. It's going to be GK versus SSG because the good games continue. Actually, another map 5. So we've watched 5 matches of Overwatch today. 3 of them have been 5 mappers. And the other 2, I mean, maybe the Falcons 3-0 could have predicted. But the OWCS Virtus Pro is actually like it's an interesting 3-0, you know? Like it's still pretty compelling viewing to see such a big gap between 2 teams that have been so evenly matched all year long.
Yeah, no, fully agreed. I think the first time in Europe that we've ever seen VP looking mortal, really. So yeah, honestly, it seems like the open for anyone to win this stage. Anyone at all.
You think Alcad could beat Falcons if Chris was coaching them? And if a bizarrely
Probably
specific hypothetical.
Probably not, mate.
Yeah. What do we know, though?
What do we? Who's next? Is it Max next?
Yep, Max is up. So I'm gonna cop myself a drink, recharge.
Yeah.
I say recharge. I got a brief recess during that series actually, but a break, but not a restful break, I'd say.
I'll go see if I can ask my wife for permission to stay up and watch the game. And then I'll probably also come back with a second glass of wine just for you, mate, okay?
Shit.
Just for you.
Tell her I'll sit her on a different table than the rest of us if she says no.
Okay, will do.
I imagine it could look a little bit bad if I do sit the only Chinese person maybe on a table by themselves. It could be interpreted poorly, but I'll take that risk. Alright, I'm grabbing a drink as well. I'll play an ad and then we can be back because North America is starting. We can get everything updated. Predictions up already. We'll get a bit of a longer break as well for this one as the North American team get ready. But then it's time. Badge on the line. SSG looking to win their first game of Stage 2 against one of the other big North American dogs. GK, obviously, very much looking for the win as well. So I'll be right back.
Join us in a second, and here he is, Exodio. Thank you so much for joining, and congratulations on the dub today. It was a hard-fought victory. Peps taking you all the way to map 5. How did you feel confidence-wise heading into this match against them?
So confidence-wise, so like we've been, I said this in the last interview, right? So we've been like struggling a bit, like in the previous matches. But I think we're trying to figure out like all the game style like really well. So confidence into this game was really good, right? But they put up a really good fight, so yeah. I mean, I'm proud of them as well. I love Peps, so yeah.
It's cool to see the love, between you guys. I think you in particular put up a great performance on the Freya, and I'm just kind of curious to think about your thoughts on Freya in the meta. I mean, she looks super dominant. Pretty much everybody is playing her. But how do you see her kind of changing the meta for other characters for overall style, since she's so different kind of than a lot of these other hits can?
I mean, for me, like it's you cannot play any other hitscan that isn't Freya right now, right? So I'm a bit sad into that part because I don't really like playing Freya. Like, I really hate it, but you know, it is what it is. It's a meta, right?
It doesn't
but,
show.
Yeah,
it looks like you.
It really doesn't.
No, I just love playing Cass or anything like any other hitscan, but it's just what you have to play, right? And the playstyle is just so much different from other hitscans, so yeah.
As a follow-up there, given the patch changes this very week, do you feel like that is going to have an impact on Freya pick rate? Do you feel like you might get away with... Nope, okay, I already see a heart now. Okay.
No.
No, we're not going there.
No.
Sodial, you guys saw a lot of success playing Sombra throughout the series. Who are you playing pretty well in that role? What do you guys feel like the Sombra gives your team? Like, because he's also a great Gen.G. We see Gen.G be pretty strong, but you guys seeing more success, it feels like, with the Sombra.
I really think, I don't know like the exact, why do we play the Sombra, but it's just like, I think it's in the Freya versus Freya matchup. I mean, I think Freya against Gen.G can force the cooldowns like really easily, right? And against Sombra, it's just like more easy to force out the Freya as well with Sombra. So I think it's just coming into that. Freya into Gen.G really strong. So yeah.
Right on. Well, it was a great performance today from you and the team. You got the dub, and you have a tough schedule ahead of you. So we hope to see more of those dubs coming your way in the upcoming weeks. Exodial, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck in your next match.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm back.
All right, mate. I'm spectating Max's warm-up scrum right now, so I'm getting the insider information.
Ooh. I've got myself a sausage roll.
From where? Greg's or Asda or like a Super Aldi?
From
now sixth place. That's not looking too good for Yellow, is it? They're gonna need to. But honestly, I think if we win tomorrow, second place. Think about that. It's all up for grabs, isn't it?
He wouldn't be second place.
Second.
You get positive map difference, actually, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all there.
I saw the internet issues is the VOD fuck too. Yeah, because I was trying it all. I tried a cheeky restart and all of that. There will be a nice exclusive part of the VOD, because obviously while the internet dies, the recording is a local recording. So if you want to watch my mental breakdown, the VOD will be going up on YouTube. There'll be no gameplay to accompany it. But if you want me talking to myself, counting to 30 to give my router a full time to reset, you can, that'll be on the VOD.